And, a lot of people are, we talked about this last week, Tommy. He said you can't eat too many red pills in a day because you OD, and going out and doing something about it probably involves taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And stop trying to convince your neighbors that the 75 food plants that have burned down in the last month are going to impact them.
Yeah.
Because Fox News tells them that there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
That it's actually time to go get a hoe. And I'm not talking about
a woman of the night.
I'm talking about a garden hoe.
Yeah. It's after the first plane struck and a lot of people went down to the lobby, security guards told them to go back up to their office. And it wasn't some conspiracy to get them all killed. It was just they actually thought that like the fire wasn't that bad. Or sorry, it was in the opposing tower.
Right.
The South Tower, when the North Tower was on fire, they told everyone in the South Tower, they're like, go back to your office, like it's fine. And people are like, well, if that building's on fire, what if it comes down? And at a certain point, you can't like rely on anyone else. You just got to go. There's a fire in the 110-story building next to my 110-story building. I'm just gonna take lunch early. Like I'm just going home, right? There's no one's ever going to teach you how to think for yourself. You just have to do it. Like,
right.
I went to school at the University of Georgia, and in like the center of campus where like the stadium is and the huge library is, in the middle of like any Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, in the middle of the day, it was just flooded. Like that, there's like a moment from like between like noon and 1 that it was just every day. It looked like a game day. It was just flooded. I just always made sure not to like be there because I was like, if there's ever a shooting, this is like one of the biggest schools in the South, that's where it's going to be. And after the first time trying to explain it to like someone that I walked with, like why I took the extra 5 minutes to sort of just kind of make a big circle, they were like, you're nuts. And I realized I was like, I can't convince anyone of this. There's really no purpose to. And the only time I'm ever going to say I was right is if the worst happened. So you just
Darwin would say you're right.
But ultimately you just have to go, I'm just going to take an extra 5 minutes to get to biology lab. And no one's ever going to confirm it for you. They're never going to say, oh, you know what, man, you were right. That guy that went into the library yesterday with that MG and mowed down 80 students, Tommy, you were right. And haha, I'm right. No, and now it's been 9 years and it never happened. It doesn't matter. I'd still do the same thing if I was there now. I would take the wide route around. You can't convince anyone. I had friends that, I won't name who, but like, I had friends that would, like Army guys that they'd put a pistol in their backpack. It was like 10 years in prison and instant expulsion if you had a weapon on campus. But I had friends who would have a gun. And I'd be like, dude, like, and I had a pistol in college. I never brought it to school, but I had friends that did it. And I'd be like, dude, that's like, they're like, well, when is anyone ever going to know I have this? And I'd be like, if you take it out. And they're like, and in what situation would I be taking this out? I was like, right. That's true. And they'd be like, I'd rather have to go stand on trial than just be cornered. Because a lot of these rooms, it was a 300-person history class, a 500-person OChem class. There's one entrance, and then it's just a big studio room. That's exactly.
And that happened, right? Wasn't it Virginia Tech?
That's exactly. Yeah, 33 killed. Yeah, the guy just went in and just headshots one after the other. So the level of just like you can bring it up and talk about it like we are in this podcast, but ultimately it's not like I'm not going to spend a year doing podcasts and interviewing food processing managers and try to get to the bottom of this. No, I have my plans to like move up north where my family is out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains sooner than later. And just maybe I'm wrong about maybe it's the same thing as UGA. Maybe in 10 years I go, there really was no food shortage. Or it's like, you called it. All those people starved to death and the cities fell. I owe you a Coke, Tom. Like, no, they're all going to be dead.
Well, that's the whole thing about